Welcome to Tech Talk here on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580, Orlando's news and talk. I'm Greg Rhodes here with David Levitt, president and founder of Refresh Computer Superstore, and technician Adam Littlefield. You can contact the Refresh Computer Superstore by calling their free tech support hotline at 407-478-8200. Or if you have any questions, go ahead and leave an open mic using the WDBO app. You can also check out their website at refreshcomputers.net or stop at the Refresh Computer Superstore in Longwood at 820 East State Road 434, just 3.5 miles east of I-4 in Longwood. Store hours are Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. And if you're listening to the show here on Saturday, that means you still have time to stop by. They'll be open until 7 p.m. today. And now, the man himself, David Levitt and Adam Littlefield.
All right. Thank you, Greg, and thank you, everybody, for listening to yet another edition of Tech Talk with Refresh Computers. We've been doing this show for over 16 years now, and we're very proud of that fact right here on WDBO. We have several topics to talk about today. We're going to bring up Windows 10 again, because there's some more news that you want to be aware of concerning Windows 10 and what Microsoft has done with that. Also, specifically with Office 365 users. So if you use Excel, Word, and those types of programs, which are all part of Office 365, or actually Microsoft 365 now, they renamed that again. So
let's not make it confusing. Let's just keep on changing the name. It's like HBO Max and HBO.
There you go. And so we are also going to talk about a few security updates that you need to be aware of, some security issues, I should say, right, Adam?
Oh, yeah.
And so you want to pay attention to that because we're seeing a lot of activity in the stores lately, and we want to talk about what those things are and what you can do to watch out for those things. So first of all, Windows 10 users, pay attention. There's 470 million of you, I believe, still out there. Still, Windows 10 is the prevalent operating system on computers.
I think like 60% of Windows machines are running Windows 10 right now.
Yeah, and it ends in October.
Yeah.
So it's a few months to go. So that's a lot of computers that need to upgrade. And roughly half of those computers are eligible for a free Windows 11 update.
Yeah.
So we'll throw that out there. And if you are unsure how to update your computer, or if your computer is even updatable, give us a call at that free tech support hotline, which is 407-478-8200. You can also send us a message going to our website at refreshcomputers.net, and there's a form right there on the website that you can use to send us a message. And it's a free call or it's a free message, and we'll get back to you. If you send us a message, we'll let you know if your machine is upgradable, and we'll also help you upgrade it. And even if you need to bring that into the store, it's a nominal fee to help you upgrade that. What do we charge for that, Adam?
I think we're doing $45 for that.
It's like $45 to help you upgrade your computer from Windows 10 to Windows 11, which from Microsoft, again, if your computer is eligible, then it's a free update. And so we highly recommend that you do that, because in October, you can keep running Windows 10 if you want, I guess, because Microsoft now says that they're going to charge you $30 for a whole year if you're a Windows 10 home user, so that you can continue using Windows 10 without worrying about anything. And why is it important to either update to Windows 11 or pay that $30 to Microsoft? I really hate that part, though, paying them more money. But anyway, it's important because you're not secure.
Yeah, that's a major thing that you lose when support is dropped, is these security updates. And that might not sound like an urgent thing, at the very moment as October turns over, but give it a month or two, and I've seen this happen with older Windows versions. Mm-hmm. Newer viruses come out, new malware comes out that Windows Defender just doesn't get updates for. Right. And it creates a vulnerability.
And, and $30, by the way, is if you're a Windows 10 home user. If you're a Windows business user, it's $61 for the first year. And Microsoft hasn't said that they would allow it for more than 1 year if you're a home user, but they did say that they'll allow it for up to 3 years if you are a business user. Business meaning if you're running Windows Pro, right? Windows 10 Pro. It's $61 for the first year, $122 for the second year, and $244 for the third year. Why anybody would pay that, I don't know, especially when you can update to a Windows 11 computer, modern computer, right there at Refresh Computers, HP.
Yeah.
We have the HP 600 G4s or G5s, I believe. They're $199.99.
Yeah.
So for less than the extended the extended program that Windows is so graciously offering to you, you can buy a whole new system.
You can buy a whole new system, which includes Windows 11 Pro, and that'll be your next 6 to 8 year computer. So why would you do anything else? I don't know. But, we're there for you. We're open 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, from 9 a.m. until 7 p.m. Or you can always shop online at refreshcomputers.net. You can see our entire inventory there. We'll talk more about that in the segment after the news break. But right now, back to updating and upgrading your computer to Windows 11. Remember, if your system is eligible, which means it's an 8th generation processor or newer, which goes back to like 2019 or so, right, Adam?
Yeah, I think very late 2018, 2019.
Mm-hmm. So if your computer was manufactured during that time, it probably has an 8th generation or newer computer. And if you're running Windows 10, go ahead and do the Windows 11 update while it's still free. Because I will tell you, when Microsoft went from Windows 7 to Windows 10, the update was free also until a certain point, and Microsoft cut off the free updates. And they were charging for the updates, like $100 or so. It was a lot. So, update that computer now. It's free. And again, if you need help updating it, that's what we're here for. We can help you for free over the phone, 407-478-8200. If you feel like you need to bring your computer in to us, which you probably don't need to do, but if you need to do that, if you feel like you feel better doing that, bring it on into the store. If you're bringing it on into the store, there is a $45 fee for that, but you can get it done free over the phone. We'll just help you. That's what we do. 407-478-8200. So, Adam, let's talk a little bit about some of the issues that we're having right now with security and some viruses that are prevalent, that people really, really need to be aware of.
Yeah, so in the store right now, the biggest thing that we've been seeing, I think, God, I can't even put a number on it now. We have seen a multitude of computers come
Dozens.
in infected with this virus called Experio. It's something that can just sit dormant in your computer for a while, and anything can cause it to just kind of go haywire, as such as like a system update, or if you're copying files to an external hard drive. I've seen that set it off before. I've seen just a normal restart set it off before.
How does it get into the computer to begin with?
So what we've been finding, at least kind of with research and, seeing what's been common between all the computers that have been infected, is I've seen that they can actually come from emails. So normally you've always known, don't click on links in emails that you don't know. Don't download files from emails you don't know. Well, the latest thing I've seen with Experio is this virus can be embedded into images in the email. So all you have to do is open the email, and that is enough to have your computer possibly be infected now by this virus.
That's interesting, because last week I was talking about viruses that are coming in through audio clips.
Yeah.
Because what can happen is the audio is converted to text in your machine. And then that text is a virus. So it comes from can even come from an audio clip, which is just wild.
Yeah. Now, the major thing with this Experio virus that's really just messing up systems is what it does when it just starts going haywire is it basically duplicates and infects every single executable on your computer. Now, what's an executable? That's what runs your programs. Your Word, for example, Excel, Google Chrome, any program you have, it will infect those executables, and your computer will start, doing its own automatic scans. Windows Defender does automatic scans, and when it starts finding thousands and thousands of infected files, your CPU usage goes up to 100%. The system just comes to a screeching halt. It really just causes the whole system to just fall apart almost.
Does it delete anything, or are people's data compromised?
So that's the tricky part, is we haven't seen any data be infected, but if there is an executable inside of someone's data, like just in their downloads folder, that can be transported just with like a data migration or something.
That's crazy. You know, a lot of these viruses are created by kids.
Yeah.
Right. And or at least childish people, you know. And this sounds like it could be one of those. You know, people do this, folks, just for the fun of it.
I was going to say, just because they were bored and they can. Yeah.
Just for the kicks. They do it for the kicks. And, you know, we're there to help you if you have this virus or any other virus. And so what are some of the symptoms then, again,
so
Adam, for this?
You know, besides the computer starting to run really slow, taking, you know, minutes to do anything basic like open up Google Chrome or something, your Windows Defender. So in the bottom right corner, sometimes you might see it pop up and say, Windows Defender has scanned this computer this amount of times and found, you know, this amount of threats. Well, what you'll see actually is that will pop up repeatedly saying Windows Defender has found threats. Click here to see them.
Oh, wow.
And if you just click on one of those, it'll bring up this list that is ever refreshing and coming up with more and more as the system just finds them, because it infects everything, even down to the system files.
Well, and I think that, you know, one of the reasons, you know, we talk about Malwarebytes Premium, which is the best antivirus, I think, on the market today. And, you know, if you have that installed on your computer, it will prevent a virus from Experio from even appearing in your computer.
Yeah,
so it'll,
that's a really good point, is the fact that Windows Defender finds it when it's already too late.
Right.
Malwarebytes, we've actually been able to find it before it starts going haywire and taking over just all of the files on the system. So that's the major difference is Malwarebytes. If you don't have it, if this is something that you're concerned about, give us a call, 407-478-8200. We have Malwarebytes keys. I believe, what are they, $34.99?
Yeah, it's like $50 if you go to the Malwarebytes website. But we have a special arrangements with Malwarebytes. You know, a few years ago, we studied every single antivirus program out there because we wanted to be able to recommend the very best one. And so that started a few years ago and it continues through today. Malwarebytes Premium is the best. If you have McAfee, get rid of it. I'm telling you, that's almost an intrusion in your system all by itself.
Same thing with Norton.
Same thing with Norton. McAfee or Norton. Get rid of those. You know, don't re-up them when you go to, when your time passes. You know, it's usually an annual thing there.
Yeah.
But those two antivirus, if you run them, you're already noticing. I don't have to tell you this. You'll see stuff popped up from Norton all the time, trying to sell you this, trying to sell you that.
Yep.
You don't get any of that crap with Malwarebytes Premium, and that's one of the reasons we recommend it. Another great thing about Malwarebytes Premium is it has, if you use Google Chrome or even, you know, the Microsoft version of a web browser, it has Browser Guard, which is a option that you can turn on or off, but we turn it on by default because it detects things going on in any site that you're visiting.
Yeah, it doesn't just look at your files at that point. It actually looks actively at the web page you're loading. If it's a sketchy web page that's not secure, if there's something that's trying to load off that web page that's gonna, could mess with your computer, it detects that stuff.
Well, yeah, because another great thing about Browser Guard I've learned is the fact that other antivirus programs do not do, including Windows Defender, is that when you're on a website, if it's a malicious website, it may look all fine and dandy there for a little while, but there's a timer being invoked, and so so your antivirus is not going to notice it right away because the timer is invoked. But with Windows Defender, it prevents that kind of thing from attacking you, in a timed instance. So in other words, it might wait 30 seconds to throw something your way. But with other antivirus programs, you're already on the page, and so it'll tag it as safe, not knowing 30 seconds later it's going to throw something at you. But with Windows Defender, with Malwarebytes and Browser Guard, that'll help prevent that kind of thing as well. So again, the free tech support hotline, whether you need a Windows 10 to Windows 11 update, or if you want to talk to us about your antivirus, it's 407-478-8200. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
You've been listening to Tech Talk here on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Welcome back to Tech Talk here on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580, Orlando's news and talk. I'm Greg Rhodes here with David Levitt, president and founder of Refresh Computer Superstore, and technician Adam Littlefield. You can contact the Refresh Computer Superstore by calling their free tech support hotline at 407-478-8200. Or if you have any questions, go ahead and leave an open mic inside the WDBO app. And now, back to David and Adam.
All right. Thanks, Greg, and thanks, everybody, for listening to Tech Talk with Refresh Computers. So if you missed the previous segment, don't worry. You can catch the whole thing on our podcast. This show in its entirety turns into a podcast that you can catch by going to our website at refreshcomputers.net. Click on that podcast link, and you can listen to the show without commercials, too. So it's about a 42-minute listen or so. And the previous segment, we were talking about Windows 10 being end of life in October. And if you're one of the 470 million users that's still using Windows 10, you should really do something else. You know, you're going to pay Microsoft a fee to keep using Windows 10, and who wants to do that? And the fact that if you have the right machine, which would be an 8th generation processor or newer, which would be late 2018 or early 2019 or newer, then chances are good that you have a free upgrade from Microsoft still to Windows 11, and that you should go ahead and do it. And if you have any questions on how to do that, call us on our free tech support hotline at 407-478-8200, and we'll help you over the phone get started. And if there's any issues during the update, you can always bring the computer or laptop in the store. We do charge a $45 fee if you bring it into the store to help you upgrade your to your free Windows 11. That's only on systems, by the way, that are eligible for the free upgrade. So if your system's not eligible, which most are if you're running Windows 10, most are eligible for a free upgrade to Windows 11. We'll help you get that going. So, you know, why not go ahead and do it? And I know a lot of you are thinking, I don't want Windows 11. I like my Windows 10, you know, and it's for good reason. Windows 10 has been a great operating system for the last 10 or 12 years.
It was supposed to be the last Windows, actually.
It was supposed to be the last named Windows, 10, 11, 12, whatever. But, Microsoft, geez, they're known for changing their mind from time to time.
Oh, yeah.
Once in a while, every once in a while.
So, and the other thing that the news, this week from Microsoft was the fact that if you're using Microsoft 365, which used to be called Office 365, which has Excel and Word and Outlook and all those things.
I think it's being renamed to Copilot 365 now, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, come on, Microsoft, don't.
Really pushing Copilot now.
So, which is not a bad AI tool, by the way. If you're an Office 365 user, use that AI tool. It's kind of cool.
I still say they missed an opportunity to just call it Clippy. That's what they should have
Clippy.
done. They should have called the AI tool Clippy. That's my thought.
Much friendlier name than Copilot.
So didn't they? Yeah, they had Clippy as a name already, right?
That was for their
copy and paste.
That was like their Microsoft Word, almost like pre-AI.
Yeah.
It was always there in the bottom left corner, giving you tips and everything in Word and Excel.
With a little animated paperclip.
Yep. With a Post-it note.
That's right. So anyway, yeah. So we also talked about a couple of viruses that you need to be aware of, and I'll let Adam, recap those real quick.
Yeah, so with that virus, that's the Experio virus that we talked about earlier. It's this super infectious virus that is really hard to detect unless you're using a third-party malware or antivirus like Malwarebytes.
And we've had dozens of computers in the store people bring it because they're running slow. That's the symptoms, right? They're just running extremely slow, taking up a lot of resources, especially the CPU time, right?
Yes.
The CPU percentage.
Yeah, that's, shot to 100%. Everything on the CPU is going at full force, doing what looks to be nothing. And that's really what it is just your system's freaking out because it's noticing all these changes, and Windows Defender is also trying to control all of that.
Listen, folks, that's all we have time for in this segment. Please stay tuned after the news because we're going to be back with some really super deals going on for some Windows 11 computers that's going to last you for the next 6 to 8 years.
there, and welcome to Tech Talk here on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580, Orlando's news and talk. I'm Greg Rhodes here with David Levitt, president and founder of Refresh Computer Superstore, and technician Adam Littlefield. You can contact the Refresh Computer Superstore by calling their free tech support hotline at 407-478-8200. Or you can leave an open mic inside the WDBO app if you have any questions. And don't forget to check out their website over at refreshcomputers.net, or stop in at the Refresh Computer Superstore in Longwood at 820 East State Road 434, just 3.5 miles east of I-4 in Longwood. Store hours are Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., and if you're listening to the show here on Saturday, it means you still have time to stop by. They'll be open until 7 p.m. And now, for the man himself, David Levitt and Adam Littlefield.
All right. Thanks, Greg. And, I'll just throw this out there. And that is, when you say the man himself, you name two people, though. So
It's the men themselves.
there you go.
We'll make that update. The men themselves.
I just had to say it. Sorry. But, everything else is great, I swear. So, and during this segment, we talk about deals going on at Refresh Computers. If you missed the last segment, we talked about the importance of updating your current machine to Windows 11 if it's eligible, or updating your computer to a Windows 11 computer if it's not eligible for a free Windows 11 update. And so these deals are all Windows 11 computers I'm going to talk about. And we're going to start off with the Dell Latitude 3300. It's been a great little laptop for us, Adam. Windows 11 Pro.
Windows 11 Pro. This is a great starter laptop that probably 90% of our customers, this is what they need.
When somebody comes in, I'm looking for a really good deal on a laptop, this is where we take them, right here. So this is all most people need. It's $199.99. Windows 11 Pro. Heck, you can hardly buy Windows Pro for that. I mean, so a Dell Latitude 3300. It's a 13.3-inch screen. It's an i5 processor, so not that little i3 processor. People ask me sometimes, what's the major difference between i3, i5, and i7 processors? And the best analogy I can use is a Larry Perry master mechanic analogy. And he's on after our show, by the way. And that is an i3 being a 4-cylinder, an i5 a 6-cylinder, and an i7 an 8-cylinder.
Then you've got the Intel Celeron and Pentiums. Those are your stagecoaches. Those are being horse-drawn.
That's right. 2-cycle engine.
Yep.
Those processors. But yeah, so I mean, in the Latitude 3300, the one I was just talking about for $199.99 is an i5 processor. So again, all the speed that you need. And the other thing, the difference between, let's say, an i5 and an i7, maybe not so much an i3, because I think on i3s you can tell. But on i5 and i7 processors, I always ask people, if you look at two different people and watch them blink their eyes and tell me which one can blink their eyes faster, it'll make a difference. But otherwise, you just can't. Most people won't know.
Yeah.
You don't need it, i7 necessarily. It's a little faster processor. That's why they're i7s and not i5s. But it's not a requirement. Let's just put it that way. So maybe you like Lenovo laptops. We have another 13.3-inch, so a newer i5 processor, the 10th generation processor, Windows 11 Pro, brand new 256 gig solid state drive in them, only $299.99. This is a really nice little laptop from Lenovo. Fits in your backpack. You can take it with you anywhere. And it's a ThinkPad. ThinkPads are Lenovo's business class version of a laptop, so they're not consumer grade. They last longer than consumer grade, which have this consumer grades are more plasticky, right, Adam? And they don't have, a lot of them will have plastic hinges even, where all of the business class laptops will have titanium or some kind of metal, light metal, but metal hinges, and just last, a lot longer.
The thing I've noticed with these business class laptops is if you just pick them up by one hand, just on that corner, and you pick it up, the whole thing comes up with it. These consumer grade ones, I've noticed you pick them up now, they start bending. They creak.
Yeah. Made like an Apple laptop.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the next laptop I want to talk about, maybe you want something a little larger screen. So these are full screen, widescreen laptops. 15.6 inch is the Latitude 5500 We had these in the store. We've sold out of them. We've got them back in. They're a popular laptop, very popular. It's the kind of laptop people buy. And, we'll have 2 other people come in looking for them because the person who bought them told somebody else, because where did you get that laptop? $349.99, 15.6-inch screen, 16 gig of RAM. Again, a brand new 256 gig solid state drive. I can't express the importance of that enough. Having a brand new solid state drive in our refurbished laptops and computers. It has Windows 11 Pro, $349.99. Just a super deal on a super laptop from a super company who does a super job refurbishing these computers and laptops like nobody else does.
And the nice thing with this 5500 too, because I've seen this actually matter to a lot of customers, is it has a full-size keyboard. You get that number pad on the side that's not cut off like most of the 13-inch laptops.
Well, that's like a side benefit of a widescreen laptop is you get the full-size keyboard because it has room for a full-size keyboard.
I've had some people want to buy that laptop just because of the keyboard, not because of the screen size or anything else. It's just the keyboard.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice keyboard, too.
It is,
nice layout, easy to use, very responsive. You can just type away. You're a fast typer like I am. Blah, 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 blah. It'll recognize every key punch right now. So it's a great little laptop. So we have the bigger brother, not larger in size, but a newer processor, 11th gen processor. It's the Latitude 3520. We just got a ton of these in. These are $1,000 laptops, folks. We have for $499.99, so $500. Again, it's a brand new 256 gig solid state drive, Windows 11 Pro, 16 gig of RAM. And, it's got that widescreen and the big keyboard like Adam was just talking about. $499.99, just a super deal on a laptop. And, we have tons of laptops. We have, I guess, probably 3 or 4 dozen different models in the store right now, Adam. Probably more models than we've ever had at one time. And you can catch them on the website at refreshcomputers.net and click on the laptop link right there on the homepage. And you can sort by processor, you can sort by how much RAM you want, what size solid state drive, you can sort by all kinds of things right there and narrow your search. And screen size is one of the things you can sort by to narrow your search down to a laptop that's going to fit your needs. And, all of these laptops are not all, but most are upgradable in RAM and solid state drive. So if you want a bigger solid state drive, we carry up to 2 terabyte solid state drives. Actually, we have a 4 terabyte solid state drive right now in stock in the store that you can upgrade these laptops to. And where else can you go and get an upgrade like that and wait while we're doing the upgrade?
In the shop. That's the best place to do it.
We're doing it right there while you wait, typically. And if you place an order online, you have an option to do an upgrade. And we'll upgrade that and have it ready for you, typically by the time you can make it to the store. And sometimes not, but we'll call you and let you know when it's ready if you're picking an upgrade, because, typically we'll have to take out the old solid state drive or the one that's in there and then put in the new one that you upgraded to. And if you want to add memory, we can do all that stuff too. So again, dozens and dozens of different models of laptops, all different sizes and shapes and different manufacturers, screen sizes up to 17-inch screen size laptops we have in stock right now. We have MacBooks from Apple. So just go on the website at refreshcomputers.net and you'll find what you need right there. I can guarantee you.
And everything on that website is tied into our stock as well. So if we sell the last one in the store, it comes off the website. So there's never a question of, do they actually have this one? Because if you see it on the website, we have it. And,
I will have to admit, there's a rare case where it happens where somebody buys one on the website and it's the last one on the website. And that laptop is sitting at the counter being checked out.
Yep.
And so that every once in a while that might happen, but it's very rare. So, when you shop on the website, if you see more than one quantity, because you'll be able to tell if there's more than one, because if there's only one left, it'll say last one. Mm-hmm. But if it doesn't say that, then we have more than one. then yeah, we'll have that laptop for you.
And good luck
stuff.
finding that kind of attentiveness at any of the big box stores that you could shop for these kinds of items at. And again, we mentioned that these are refreshed to like new level and things like that.
Yep.
Good luck customizing your like new computer at one of those big box stores for any kind of affordability. And again, the attention to detail that you offer at Refresh Computers.
Well, they don't even do it in the big box stores anymore.
Exactly.
They ship them off. They ship them off to some. There's a place in Atlanta that gets a lot of the ones from around here, and so you got to wait. We got to wait a few weeks.
Yeah.
And who wants to do that? So we do it right there in the store while you wait. And again, I've mentioned this before. When we refurbish a laptop, there's no bloatware. We refurbish a desktop computer, any refurbished computer or laptop. There's no bloatware. And what's bloatware? That's all that crap that you get on a new computer when you turn it on, and you're going to get these pop-ups saying, buy this, buy that. And it's timed. It'll go for the next 6 months. Those different things will pop up over a 6-month period on a new computer that is programmed to pop up at those intervals to try to get you to buy something else. And why do the manufacturers do this? Because they get a piece of the pie every time. They're allowed to put that on a brand. So that's why they put them on there. But for us at Refresh Computers, I don't want that piece of the pie. I don't care for that because I don't want to put that burden on my customers because it also ties up resources, this bloatware does. And so it takes up space on your drive. And so it slows down your computer. So there's no bloatware. I promise you that on any of our computers that you buy at Refresh Computers. So while they're like new, the part that's not like new is the part where there's no bloatware.
Yeah. and Dave and myself, we are regular computer users, just like everybody out there listening. And we personally feel the frustration of seeing a new computer come in and the first thing that pops up is, hey, you should buy this. You should buy that. That's the first time the computer's ever come on.
Are you ready to purchase your new Norton or McAfee programming?
Oh, those are the worst ones.
Yes.
And, we actually have customers bring in computers they bought new somewhere else, asking us, hey, can I pay you to take off this bloatware?
Yeah.
Which we do, which we can do that for you, but we, of course, prefer you just to buy one right from us to begin with. And you don't have to worry about that stuff.
The thing that always irks me is I've seen McAfee pop up, and it imitates and looks like a Windows pop-up. It has the blue box. It shadows out the background a little bit. It looks like it's from Windows. But when you read it, it tells you it's McAfee, but just from the look of it alone, it actually has panicked some customers that have come in with it.
Yeah, someday when I get a chance, I don't know if I ever told you, Adam, I actually got to meet John McAfee.
Oh, really?
Point. Had a drink with him at a bar. That was an interesting conversation, to say the least. But anyhow, so let's talk about a couple desktops while we still have some time. We have the Dell Optiplex 7060s back in stock, the i7 version. The 7060 small form factor, probably the most popular desktop computer in the store. It's only $269.99. Has a brand new 256 gig solid state drive, 16 gig of RAM. And this batch of Optiplexes that we got in, they actually have the 4 gig video card installed in them as well. So you can put up to 3 different monitors using that video card. And it's just an awesome machine for $269.99. Brand new 256 solid state drive, Windows 11 Pro. That's the Optiplex 7060 small form factor. You want something a little bigger? We have the Precision T3630. It's an i7 processor as well. It has a 512 gig solid state drive, brand new. It has a NVIDIA GeForce 1060 video card, which has 3 display ports and 1 HDMI port on it. So you can add all those monitors to a desktop computer. It's actually a little tower computer. It's only $399.99. It's a $1,000 computer. Heck, the video card's worth $300 in this thing. So $399.99 for this Precision 3630. And don't forget, you can find all of this on the website by going to refreshcomputers.net. And you can click on desktops. You can click on laptops. We have dozens and dozens in stock. And so you can place your order online and you can select to pick up in the store, or we can ship them anywhere you want in the USA. So don't forget that free tech support hotline while we're at it, 407-478-8200. You can certainly call that number and ask any questions about any of our computers or laptops for sale. Got to take a break here. We'll be back right after this.
You've been listening to Tech Talk here on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Welcome back to Tech Talk here on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580, Orlando's news and talk. I'm Greg Rhodes here with David Levitt, president and founder of Refresh Computer Superstore, and technician Adam Littlefield. You can contact the Refresh Computer Superstore by calling their free tech support hotline at 407-478-8200. Or you can go and leave an open mic inside the WDBO app with any of your questions. And now, back to the men themselves, David Levitt and Adam Littlefield.
All right. Thanks, Greg. And thank you, everybody, for listening to Tech Talk with Refresh Computers. In case you missed it, in the first segment of the show, we talked about a few important Microsoft updates, specifically Windows 10 and Windows 11. We also talked about a new virus going around that we're seeing a lot of in the store. And after that, we talked about a bunch of deals going on at Refresh Computers. If you missed any of that, you can go to our website at refreshcomputers.net, click on the podcast link, and you can listen to this show in its entirety without commercials. And right there, right from the website. So, and you can go back and listen to the last, we're going back 2.5 years now since we've been doing the podcast versions of the show, and it's been a huge success. We have one of the reasons we started the podcast version of the radio show is because people like you listening asked for it. It's like, hey, I missed it. I wish I could have heard it. I missed something. You guys should do a podcast, so there it is. So it's not a separate podcast. It's the radio show converted to podcast form. So just go to refreshcomputers.net and you can catch it right there. And so this segment, we like to talk about some businesses who recently have done business with Refresh Computers, and I'll turn it over to Adam for that. Adam?
Yeah, so this is Dave and I's favorite time of the show. Basically, just give some businesses some shout-outs that have done business with us in the past week, and I'll get started on that right now. So we had KL Engineering and Construction, Inc. They brought a computer to do some diagnostics on. I believe it was having some issues with posting, so that's what we went through and diagnosed. We had Florida Home Loans. They purchased one of our Lenovo ThinkPad X13 laptops. That was the one we talked about in the deal segment previously. We also had Highland Products. They purchased one of our new Dell laptop chargers, and that's the thing is we sell genuine laptop chargers, not these little rinky-dink plastic
knockoffs
chargers that are a fire hazard.
And every laptop we sell in the store comes with a genuine manufacturer's charger. So if you buy a Dell laptop, you're going to get a Dell charger, not a cheap plasticky knockoff.
Yeah. We had Longview Inc. They purchased one of our Dell Optiplex 7080 systems from us, and they also got a 1-year extended warranty on that. With all of our systems, we can extend the warranty. It comes with 90 days, but we can extend by up to, I think it's 3 years.
Right. 1 year, 2 year, or 3 year options, which actually adds another 1 year, 2 year, 3 years to the 90 days you already get. So we're the only place I know of that does that, where it already comes with a 90-day warranty. So when you buy a 1-year warranty, you get a 1 year plus the 90 days it already comes with.
Yeah. We had Naturescape Lawn Services, Inc. They purchased one of our HP EliteDesk 800 desktops, and they had us do a 1 terabyte upgrade in that as well, like we were talking about earlier. And we also went through and actually transferred all of the data from their old system to that new one. And that's something that we offer to do in-store at purchase. It's something that we can start. We can kind of give you an estimate of how long it'll take, if it could be a couple minutes or if it may be a couple hours.
Well, that's a good point. So, if you're going to be replacing your computer or your laptop, say you're upgrading from a Windows 10 machine to a Windows 11 machine, bring that Windows 10 machine with you. We don't need all the cables and cords and all that stuff. We just need the laptop or, maybe the laptop charger if it's not a Dell or if it's not a HP. If it's a Dell or HP, we have the charger guaranteed. But just bring it in, and we'll do that data transfer for you.
Yep. We also had Pinnacle Collaborations and Holdings. They purchased one of our Apple MacBook Pro laptops, and that's a laptop we don't get very often either.
And I didn't mention the Apple laptops during our deal segment, but we have a lot of current operating systems, Sequoia. Apple MacBook Pros right there in the store, starting at around $449.99, I believe, and $499.99 for one with a little bit more RAM, I think. So, folks, that's all we have time for today. Don't forget that free tech support hotline at 407-478-8200. This is David Levitt, owner and founder of Refresh Computers. We'll be talking to you again next week.